Have you ever stopped to think about a choice you made? Maybe it was something small. What if you had turned left instead of right on your way to work this morning? What if you had ordered coffee instead of tea? Or maybe it was a big decision, like a career change. We all face these crossroads in our lives, moments where the path ahead splits into 2 or 3 or 100 different possibilities. We weigh our options, make a choice, and then live with the consequences, often wondering about the roads not taken. It's a deeply human experience to ponder the what-ifs that pepper our past. What if I told you that every single one of those other paths was taken, not by a ghost or a figment of your imagination, but by another version of you, a version of you that is just as real as the person hearing these words right now? It is a stunning, mind-bending idea that comes from the very heart of modern physics. To begin our exploration, we must travel down to the smallest scales imaginable, down past molecules, past atoms, to the world of subatomic particles. This is the quantum realm, and down here things are very strange indeed. The rules of our familiar classical world simply don't apply. Particles like electrons don't have a definite location until we look for them. They can be in multiple places at once, a state we call superposition. Perhaps the most famous and mind-bending experiment in all of physics is the double-slit experiment. Imagine a barrier with 2 thin, parallel slits cut into it. On one side, you have a machine that can fire tiny particles, like electrons, one at a time. With both slits open, the electrons create an interference pattern. This is where a brilliant and unconventional PhD student at Princeton University, Hugh Everett III, entered the story in the 1950s. Everett looked at the fundamental equation of quantum mechanics, the Schrödinger equation. He noticed that the equation itself never showed any kind of collapse. So, Everett made a bold and logical leap. Everett's stunning proposal was that every single potential outcome described by the quantum wave function is real. When an electron faces the 2 slits, it doesn't choose one path. The entire universe splits. In one universe, a version of you sees the electron in one place. In another universe, another version of you sees it somewhere else. So, how can we begin to picture this astonishing concept of constantly splitting realities? We should imagine reality as a gigantic, ever-growing tree. At the base of the trunk is the beginning of the universe, the Big Bang. But at every moment, a quantum event with multiple possible outcomes occurs. The trunk splits into new branches. Think about a simple coin toss. According to the many worlds view, at the moment the coin is in the air, the universe is poised at a branching point. This applies to every single choice. The time you decided to stay in instead of going to that party. The version of you that went met their future best friend. An infinite tapestry of your potential lives, all being lived out simultaneously. The you that you experience is just one instance, one data point in a vast branching collection of yous. All your triumphs are real, but so are all your failures. All your best-case scenarios are playing out somewhere, but so are all your worst-case scenarios. One of the most significant and persistent criticisms leveled against the many worlds interpretation is a practical one. How could we ever prove it? The parallel universes proposed by many worlds are, by their very nature, causally disconnected from our own. Some physicists are exploring ways the theory might, in principle, be testable. For example, some have speculated about advanced quantum computing. While this wouldn't be definitive proof, it could be seen as circumstantial evidence. The many worlds interpretation presents us with one of the most profound philosophical challenges imaginable, striking at the very heart of what it means to be human, our sense of free will. If every possible choice you could make is actually made by a version of you in some parallel universe, what does that do to the concept of choice itself? There's another perspective that suggests the exact opposite. It actually implies that our choices have an almost infinite weight because they don't just affect our future, they create entire new universes. When you strive to make a good, compassionate, or courageous choice, you are creating a reality where that goodness exists. You're actively populating the multiverse with better worlds. The many worlds interpretation radically expands our understanding of existence itself. The multiverse, in its entirety, would contain every possible variation. Every joy that could be felt is being felt by someone, somewhere, in some universe. Every sorrow that could be endured is also being endured. The multiverse is the ultimate canvas, where every possible permutation of reality is painted. It suggests a form of cosmic conservation, not of energy but of possibility. Every beautiful thing that could have been, is. For centuries, scientific discoveries have progressively shifted humanity away from the center of things. The many worlds theory represents the next logical step in this cosmic decentering. Instead of seeing ourselves as a tiny part of one universe, we can see ourselves as an integral part of a vast and interconnected multiverse. The laws of quantum mechanics are not some abstract set of rules governing distant particles. They are the machinery of our own being, the very process that allows our consciousness to navigate the branching paths of existence. We are not just living in the universe, we are a manifestation of its deepest, most creative principles. This journey through the multiverse leaves us standing before a panorama of profound and enduring questions. If countless versions of you exist, each living out a different life based on a different sequence of choices, then who are you? What does this mean for our sense of meaning and purpose? Ultimately, we are left to wonder about the nature of reality itself. Whether the many worlds interpretation is ultimately proven correct, or if it is superseded by an even more profound theory, its value is undeniable. The act of contemplating these possibilities is an exercise in expanding our own consciousness, in pushing the boundaries of what we believe to be real and what we believe to be possible. This idea returns us to a sense of childlike wonder. It re-enchants the world around us. A simple choice about what to have for breakfast is no longer just a trivial decision. It becomes a potential flicker of cosmic creation. This perspective infuses the mundane with the magnificent, reminding us that we are living within a deep and profound mystery. So the next time you stand at a crossroads in your life, big or small, take a moment, and as you make your choice, you can wonder. You can wonder if another you, just as real, is taking that other path, embarking on a different adventure in a universe that has just sprung into being. This thought does not need to be frightening or diminishing. Instead, it can be empowering. It is a reminder that you are part of something immeasurably vast and endlessly creative. A reminder that you are a participant in a universe or a multiverse of boundless and breathtaking awe.